please do not continue to put a condom over your fitness business. Please explode action all over the place and serve to your maximum level.
Your analogies sometimes get me.
Welcome to the Fitpreneurs, the show that will help you flex your business muscles so you can make more money and live the life you really want. No more complaining, whining, or being a wimp. It's time to pump up your fitness business and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. So no girly men or lazy ladies allowed. It's time for me to do some push-ups and turn things over to my friends AJ Roberts and Simon Lovell. Hasta la vista.
Holiday, celebrate, AJ.
Welcome to episode number 23. That was the beautiful voice of Simon Lovell, my co-host.
It's not even episode 23.
All right, we're going to start again.
No, we're not. We're going to carry on. It's episode 21, and this is real. We're not going to record it again. We're just going to go through, we're going to recognize to everyone listening that you made an error, not re-record and just let it continue. This is what we're going to do this time.
Okay. Well, you're normally the one who screws up with the numbers, so I think I've earned some wiggle room there. But anyway, coming up in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can leverage holiday promotions to create a flood of sales, simply by tapping into the current conversations in the minds of your prospects and customers.
Awesome. I'm excited. We've not actually done an episode in probably 2 months now, which is my bad because I've been traveling.
Yeah, you've been jet setting all over the world. But hey, before we get into what you've been up to and the catch up, guys, if you're listening and you haven't visited our website yet, thefitpreneurs.com, head over there, join our mailing list. Make sure you don't miss any of the episodes. But of course, you can also subscribe on iTunes, and we'd appreciate any 5-star reviews that you want to throw our way. Those help with the podcast rankings and stuff, which allows us to get in front of more people, and that's why we do this, is to help you guys. So head over there. But anyway, back to Simon's travels. He's been kind of all over. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
Well, I went from UK to LA and then saw you in San Diego. Did we do it? We did an episode there, right?
Yeah, we did an episode here.
And then I went to Maui, Hawaii. And then I went to Fiji, Sydney, Bali, India with Tony. And now I'm back in UK before me and you head to Thailand for some $5 action, and then both going to Florida to Date with Destiny. So super pumped. It's been a crazy couple of months, but I've had some amazing experiences. I've really learned a lot about myself, and this continuous journey of self-development just continues to evolve as I get more centered, more peaceful, and completely zen, which is fantastic. So all the business stuff is kind of flows once you're in this kind of rhythm. And in fact, as I'm moving my body saying rhythm, one of the things we did was this trance dancing, which is like you move, you get really centered and meditate, and then you do this kind of dancing, which basically just flows. It's like everyone's kind of just, it's like a party, but with no alcohol or drugs, right? It's just you moving and just being in flow with your body, and it's just kind of spiritually type thing. It was funny. It was good.
Sounds like a good time. It's funny we talk about, getting more zen, or a lot of people say, raising your vibrations. But essentially, it goes back to this thought process that we are kind of all-knowing beings. And a lot of times people talk about how we already have the answers if we just shut up and listen. And it's a big reason, I'm a big fan of daily meditation and reflection and things like that. Because a lot of the times, and let's be honest, most of the people listening to this podcast, most trainers out there, this isn't the first, educational, business educational thing they've listened to. And so a lot of times we have a lot of wisdom, we have a lot of knowledge, but we don't listen. And it seems like as we raise our vibration, as we raise the level of Zen or whatever you want to call it, we start to, like you said, operate in the state of flow. And what's interesting about that is I got to experience that in the beginning. During the first time I experienced flow was in my powerlifting career, when I got to the point where it was just, I knew exactly what I needed to do, when I needed to do it, and it's what propelled me to be a world record holder. being able to take that now into the business world, it's the same thing carried over. And so a lot of the times, if I get caught up or stressed or I seem to be rushed or I'm not sure what I should be doing, I have to remember to go back to that place, like you said, that place of Zen, of calmness, and really start to focus. And I've had, luckily over the last, since the last podcast, I've been to, went to a couple of masterminds and some events. I really had a lot of reflection time. I've been, I got back into my daily walk along the beach now. I'm going to take up surfing, so that's going to be cool. But all of these things are designed to free up the mind so that we can operate in the state of flow. And I love what you said about dancing, because one of my favorite things, Sean Stevenson, who for many people, he's a motivational speaker. He's been bound to a wheelchair for most of his life, but he posted a video on YouTube about, whenever you're feeling down or not in the groove of things, to have a little dance party. And so I've been having dance parties, and so it's cool that you got to experience that too and see the shift and the energy shift. And I think that, for those that are listening, a lot of times, it's easy to wake up every day and to just go about your day, but you've got to kind of really prepare for your day. And I think that's, you've shared with me a lot of stuff offline, not on the podcast, about things you've been doing and implementing to really get you in that state of flow. And I think that most people don't realize that every day they wake up, they have to demand that of themselves. And I think we talked about it in the last podcast, but you have to kind of put your armor on. You have to kind of be prepared to go to war for the day, and you don't just get there by waking up and just going right at it. You've got to prepare. You've got to take time out. You've got to focus. You got to allow yourself to be in the right mindset and kind of to get into that state of flow, to be Zen-like, to stay calm, and to kind of operate from a place of all knowing. And that's what hopefully this podcast is fueling and giving people the tools to be able to do that.
For sure. One of the things about the dancing, which I noticed, which everyone's listening, like, guys, can we talk about, like, kettlebells or something? But no, this is really important. So when we're doing the trance dancing, what you realize is that as you're going through the flow and just letting yourself be and dance and move, is that you kind of think about, like, when I normally dance, which is maybe in a nightclub, and I'm just stood there, like, with a beer going, like, is everyone looking at me? Da, 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 da. And it's like, what you realize is, when you're doing this process, is how much we go into our head. Right, and as soon as in your head, there's that saying: as soon as you're in your head, you're dead. Right, so you have these two brains. You've got your head brain and your heart brain. And so meditation, what we keep on talking about the power of meditation is it takes you from your head brain of where you're thinking of all the negative thoughts into your heart, which is where different answers and solutions can come from. And actually, part of the journey I went to was to India with Tony Robbins as part of his platinum program. And, we spent some time in some incredible places, but it's the reason why we went there is that, these people are there, they've got little, but they're really happy. And so we saw these people we went to the Ganges and saw these people just kind of begging and just kind of in these completely different kind of lives, but they're still kind of smiling and happy. And in the Western world, people are so stressed all the time. And so we've got to learn about meditation, vibration, the level of consciousness in which people are at. If you're listening to this podcast now and you're listening to any kind of self-development and you're doing meditation, all that kind of stuff, and you're growing, your frequency and your level of consciousness is raised. And so there's this thing called awakening, which is at the point in which, like, you stop going into your mind the majority of the time and actually come from your heart. And so, if you're struggling with sales or marketing and you're not, being authentic and you're not being yourself and things aren't in flow like AJ's talking about, most of the time you're in your head brain, you're not in your heart. And so I've gone through processes which most people wouldn't even, if I began to talk about them, most people wouldn't believe, and I'm not going to talk about them on the podcast, but just let me share a couple of things with you, which is, I've managed to go into my subconscious, go to my past and realize why some things have happened to me and release charges which have now released a lot of stress for me. And there's techniques that you can do to really get to this better place, which is about going into a completely different state and then unblocking things from your past. And oftentimes a lot comes from our parents. A lot comes from actually when you're being born. There's certain things that are conditioned at a certain point at which you're being born. And I'm going hyper deep into this when we need to get into the show, but the mindset stuff is so key. And that's why over the forthcoming episodes, as much as we're going to be giving you strategies, tips and advice on lead generation, sales, marketing, how to build the business, guys, we're going to hammer in the power of getting your head in the right place, because if your head's not in the right place, you can't action any of this.
Exactly. And, we could talk about this. We get so fired up every single time, and there's so much I want to say, but we'll be here for another 2 hours, so we'll save it for another episode. But the point that is important, and the thing that you really should be paying attention to, is a lot of times right now you probably think we're a bunch of cuckoos and crazy, but here's the deal. We've achieved the level of success we have because we're continuously working on ourselves. The only person holding you back is yourself. The only person that needs to believe in yourself is you. And so you are in control of your own destiny, okay? And whatever you want to leave this earth with, whatever footprint you want to make, you are in charge of and you are in control of. And you're not going to get to where you want to get to unless you start to understand you. Okay, and so that starts with awareness, as Simon says, and there's so many things you can do, but just simple awareness about, why did I do that, or why did I say that, or why did I take that action? When you start to understand you, you're going to start to understand your clients better, okay, and that's something that is so important, because this stuff it's about you, but what you learn is going to fuel your business and take things to a higher level, and you're going to be able to get better results, because now you're going to start to understand human emotions and interactions and human habits and things that most trainers ignore. And so if you can raise the level of what you expect from yourself, you'll begin to raise the level of what you expect from your customers. But the biggest thing with that is when you're working with your clients, they may not realize the things that they're doing, but once you start to understand it, now you can make them aware of it, and you can have a lasting, powerful impact on their lives. And that's really what this is about. And this is why me and Simon are so passionate about this, is because we want to have that lasting impact on your life.
Holiday.
Celebrate.
Okay, so that was the transition into the main content for this episode, which is holidays. So seriously, mindset stuff aside, let's talk about the times of the year in which you can start to build your income. And, we're recording this. I know me and AJ were like, don't talk about anything time sensitive, right? But we are coming up until Christmas. And so there are going to be different times of the year when a lot of people right now are going, and I had this the other day, I was having a conversation with a Fitpro, and we were talking about building the business, and it was like, no one's got any money to spend now because it's coming up to Christmas. Well, that in itself is going to stop you from growing if you're telling yourself the story, which is no one has the money to spend. I actually did a post on my Facebook, which was, I said, how to be broke at Christmas. Tell yourself that nobody has any money to spend at Christmas. And it's very important that you get into the abundance mindset of people who've got money to spend at Christmas. And AJ has an awesome stat to share with you.
Yeah, so, I wanted to make sure that, it's not just mine and Simon's opinion all the time on this show. Because although we're right 99% of the time, at the end of the day, there's nothing like hard statistics to back up what you're saying. And you guys can take a note from this and use this in your marketing. Anytime you can back up anything you say, it becomes more powerful. So this is an example of that. But basically, I started looking for, what was the average spend that most people spent around the holiday season? And there's actually a National Retail Federation that surveys people for different things on holidays and things like that. But the average spend of a person is $738. Okay, and this is stats off of last year, 2013 Christmas holiday. Okay, and I did Christmas because that's worldwide. So if we've got listeners in England and Australia and New Zealand and places like that, they don't celebrate things like Thanksgiving like we have here in America. They have different holidays to celebrate. But $738 per person. That's about $600 billion that is spent over the holiday season. Okay, that's just Christmas. If you think of all the other holidays, and we're going to go over this, but New Year, Valentine's, Easter, all these other things, think of how much money is being spent. We're probably looking at, close to $900 billion are spent over the holiday seasons. Okay, it's spent with retailers. Okay, and at the end of the day, we are a purchase. Training is a purchase. Okay, and people invest in that. And there is no better time than around the holidays because people are taking pictures, people are meeting family, and it's a time of year that they want to look their best. Okay, and it's a time of year that it becomes top of mind. All right. So while you're telling yourself some bullshit story that no one is going to spend money with you, your actual prospects and your current clients are already in the headspace that they need to get their bodies in shape because they're already thinking about the way they're going to look in their Christmas best or how they're going to look in those photos. And so they're already kind of having some conversation in their head. And so, this is one reason why, holiday promotions are so powerful because people are already thinking about this stuff. If it's Christmas, they're already thinking about, Christmas Day and the food they're going to have, but they're thinking about the pictures. If it's New Year, they're thinking about the party they're going to go to, the dress they have to get into, think about the new body for the new year. They recommit to those things. Each holiday brings something like that you can leverage and go over. And there's so many holidays you can do, and we're just going to run through a whole bunch, and then we'll dive into what you can do. But some of the major holidays, we have Christmas.
Wait. I just want to say something before you go into this, right? Okay. Which is, before I forget about it, so sorry for interrupting. However, a big mistake I see trainers making is that they think about running something when the time of year is there, not prior, right? So if you want to plant, we've used this analogy before. If you want a tree, you make sure that you plant the seed, right? You don't want a tree now, and then you've got to think of the timeline involved. So, for example, if you've got Christmas coming up, probably 6 weeks to 2 months before, you want to be thinking little black dress parties, right? And actually, magazines are a great place to look for this type of stuff because you'll see in the because I used to work for national magazines. When you're reading them, they're pretty good at visualizing like what's happening in the next period. So they'll be talking about like little black dress cocktail party. And in fact, the Lunchbox Diet, when it was reviewed by Elle magazine, the article in which it was reviewed was an article based on get in shape for the little black dress parties, right? Which is a fine example of them not in the New Year and Christmas episode magazine the month prior, looking into those time periods. So when we read out these, and when me and AJ are going through these times of year, like get a calendar out and start marking them in so that you can actually plan ahead.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the stores, they already have Christmas decorations up. Here in the States, we just had Halloween, which is a huge holiday season. But immediately after, they started transition. And so even though we have Thanksgiving coming up, which is a massive American tradition, a huge part of the culture over here, the Christmas decorations, you go to any store right now, you can buy Christmas stuff. And we're not even in December yet. So if the stores are thinking about this stuff right now, you guys should be thinking about this stuff in advance as well. And so, like Simon said, take the calendar out. We're going to run through a bunch. But this in itself, most people aren't going to leverage the holidays. And so, you're going to distinguish yourself. But you're entering, like I said, you're entering the conversation that's already happening in the prospect's mind or the client's mind. And that's going to make it even more powerful. So back to the list. So we have the major holidays. Of course, we have Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
We have the New Year.
New Year, so, post-Christmas, when everyone's like prime time. By the way, as if you've worked in a big gym chain, you'll know that actually some people sign up on January the 1st and go in and they're like diving in, but the majority of people actually go towards the end of January, and most of all, the surge happens in early February.
Cool. We got Valentine's Day, love is in the air. Everyone celebrates Valentine's Day, even single people. There's, I think the day before Valentine's Day, there's the single person Valentine's Day. I don't know what it is, but there is that. We have Easter. Easter's a big holiday. Mother's Day is huge. April's Fool's Day, Father's Day. We got D-Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, and of course Halloween. And I'm sure there's some that I've probably missed in there, but those are some major holidays that you can center around. But other than that, we've got other holidays as well.
Before we move on, I just want to talk about Halloween because this is something I did for my own business when I had it, but just doing like Halloween workouts and using pumpkins and stuff. It's just fun, and I did this whole video with like people going around like a park with pumpkins, and I was actually working out of a gymnastics club at the time, and I videoed this thing with like the Thriller music and like people with pumpkins, and it was just fun. You can have like the great thing about stuff with the holidays is that you can just get really creative with your marketing if you think ahead in terms of what you're trying to do. And it's like, come and join us for a free Halloween workout or whatever. So just get creative when we're bringing up these times of year. And there's so much potential.
It's funny you mentioned the pumpkin workout, because I think our friend Scott Colby started that, or at least popularized it in the community. I think he wrote an ebook on it, and back when he was doing his boot camp. And I just remember seeing all these boot camp owners sharing pictures on Facebook and on other social media properties back then, Twitter when it was big and things like that, and of all their clients working out with the pumpkins. And then other people had, and I see it recently, they have, they dress up and work out in their outfits and things like that. So like you said, it really can have a lot of fun around the holidays, dressing up, and of course you can leverage that in your marketing as well by dressing up all goofy and wearing a Santa Claus outfit and things like that. So you can have a lot of fun with these things. So and like I said, we've got other holidays as well. Independence Day, Black Friday, which is a huge sales day over here, and then in England you got Boxing Day, which is a huge sales day. Cyber Monday, those are big days too. St. Patrick's Day. Any excuse to dress up like a leprechaun is pretty good. You got Cinco de Mayo, Mardi Gras, things like that. So there's other holidays that you can leverage and have fun around as well. And then there's actually, looking up the lists here, there's actually like a bunch of fitness holidays that people have created on specific days, which is interesting. You've got your Family Health and Fitness Day, National Women's Health and Fitness Day, National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. There's a Mediterranean Diet Month. So I'm sure there's some other diet months out there. If not, you could create your own. There's National Nutrition Month, and there's World Health Day. So we've got actual fitness holidays that you could leverage as well. And there's probably gluten-free days. There's probably, bodyweight workout days. You just have to dig around and look for those. And like I said, if they're not there, you could create them. You could easily create them. And of course, lastly, we have really unusual holidays. Let me
read these out, because I feel like
This is perfect for you. This is perfect for you.
And so Simon announces the unusual holidays list. Okay, so number 1, Random Act of Kindness Day. So that's exactly what it says on the tin. Eat ice cream for breakfast day. AJ, why the hell did you? Is that protein ice cream?
No, so I put this in because
it needs to be protein ice cream for breakfast day.
Well, there's a lot of people who use the If It Fits Your Macros diet. There's a lot of people who do the carb rotation. There's a lot of people who throw cheat meals in. And so I wrote this down, and you could apply this to anyone, but planning for a holiday, right? So this is an example where like over here we have Thanksgiving, then you have Christmas. But these are big days that people gather and eat large amounts of food. And so I put this one in here just to jog my memory. But for example, like eat ice cream for breakfast day, you leverage that to educate your clients on when it's okay to cheat, and how to build that into their program. Okay, and so you can use it as an educational tool, and you could leverage that to show them how they can celebrate. Because there's Pancake Day and there's Popcorn Day and there's a lot of these like eat bad food days basically. But if you think about it, it's an opportunity for you to show your clients like how they can do that. You can actually go into the science behind stuff if you want to, and talk about leptin levels and filling the energy tanks and things like that. So it's one of those examples I threw in there just to show people that you can really turn anything into a promotion.
So, but potentially you could have a day which is like a smoking day, like a Class A drugs day, get people like doing really bad things over the course of a month, and then they're going to be in a prime state to want to hire you.
Exactly.
That's, by the way, that's not an actual Fitpreneur strategy. However, you could adopt it.
Yeah.
We need to put some kind of disclaimer on this. So also we've got Plant a Tree Day.
And that goes back to what you said, you just mentioned about planting the seeds. So Plant a Tree Day I put in there because in my head it made me think about planting those seeds, right? And so you can send them a packet of seeds here, and it's kind of the hook, right, into the whatever the promotion is you decide to do.
It's like the old attaching a dollar bill to the letter.
Exactly.
Okay. Clever. Hug a Friend Day. Me and AJ hug all the time. He tends to hold on a bit too long, but that's just him. Small Business Day. is a great one to do with local businesses. So just think of the potential of that. That's a very untapped market for a lot of trainers. Is like, if you want people with a disposable income, go to the business owners, right? And get them partaking, and maybe you could link up something where you're doing a special day within an existing business, right? So go in and find some business owners, go to their human resources department and say, look, we're going to do a health and fitness day every year for your staff. And we're going to do a seminar, and we're going to do all this crazy stuff. And just like it's easy to run Facebook ads, but actually it's a lot more difficult these days because we've become so conditioned to actually get off our asses and go and talk to some people. So also walk to work day. This is great. Or you could have cycle on your bike day, or roller skate into work day. There's just endless.
Yeah, roller skating. I just imagine. Well, now I'm picturing you in a pair of roller skates with sequin leotard on,
with Madonna in my ears. Celebrate.
Just doing the night fever as you roll into work, which is literally two steps away from your bed.
Downhill. Right? This episode is going as downhill as someone on roller skates going down San Diego.
Well,
no, San Francisco. Sorry.
My office is literally 10 steps from my bedroom and 5 steps from my living room. So I would have to make the loop around my house on the rollerblades to get the benefit from that. But, these kind of things, they give you the opportunities to really think outside the box and be creative. And I think that is what, any of these, you don't have to be a creative person in order to leverage these holidays and become unique in your marketplace. And as a trainer, when you have, and let's be honest, there is gyms on every corner. I'm in San Diego, Southern California. I think we have more gyms here than anywhere else in the world. You literally can walk from gym to gym to gym. And so when you think about promotions, and I keep a lot of the flyers that come through the mailbox and as examples of bad advertising, and I look at what people are doing outside the industry as well. And very few people leverage the holidays. Nearly everyone will do something for Christmas, like promotions or coupons and stuff like that, but very few people are using the other holidays throughout the year. So although Christmas is the big one, New Year is the big one, think about the other opportunities you have, because now you're going against nearly nobody, unless they happen to be a fitpreneur listening to the podcast too. And to be honest, even if there's 2 of you doing it and your gyms are within walking distance, there's enough people to go around. It's not going to hurt your business if someone else is doing this as well, because the majority never are. And so when you can stand out and you can separate yourself and you can be creative and have fun with this, and it's me and Simon, as the podcast has gone on, we have more and more fun, it seems, and we're always joking around, singing, having a laugh, and it makes it fun. And think about how, you probably listening because you enjoy the camaraderie or the banter, or you're just like two guys going at it, but there's a reason you're here listening, and that's the same for your clients. And you essentially, attracting the prospects. They're gonna look at this and going to be like, these guys are fun. They're cool. They make fitness
AJ,
and it's just going to be good times.
I've looked at the stats though, and the stats have declined over time.
For the podcast?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dagger to the heart right there.
Ow. Okay, but he's right. So we're having fun. You've got to have fun with your business. It's like, if it's a stress right now, it's probably because you're not having fun with it. And the more fun you have it, and that people see your personality, the more they're going to resonate with you, the more that they're going to connect with you, because people like just seeing not the non-serious side. So, as much as we need to be disciplined in what we're doing, and the systems and the processes that we take someone through in a transformation, people want to do that and have fun, and people want to be entertained.
Absolutely. So let's get into what you could actually do during these holidays times. We've talked about dressing up and doing some fun workouts and stuff, but we want to look at generating income. And so one of the biggest things that you can do is send gift cards. And you can position this in different ways, depending on what you have. Obviously, if you're a trainer and all you offer is training, you could send a gift card for $100 or $50, or send 5 gift cards for that to your clients, and tell them to give them to their friends. Okay, and gift cards, the sale of gift cards over the holiday season is massive. People buy gift cards all the time, and so imagine if you send them a coupon, a $50 or $100 value gift card that you get created up, and there's different places that do it. But that looks like a real gift card. You mail that to them, and they can give that to their friends as a gift. Now, those are referrals. Those are hot leads. Those are going to be great. The other thing with the gift cards is if you sell, if you have a gym and that you sell other things, like you've expanded beyond training, you're selling supplements, you're selling clothes, whatever you're offering, you can give them the gift card, and they can put it towards a purchase. Okay. And so you can send a Christmas card, you can send a Thanksgiving card, you can send Easter card, you can send a card with a letter in telling them how much you appreciate them as a customer, and to say thanks, here's a gift card. So that's one thing you can do, is send gift cards, and people love gift cards. So it's one of the most powerful things you can do, I think.
For sure, and also there's coupons, which is another one. Don't forget also to send gifts out, particularly on birthdays and things like that. It's a really good thing to do. And then lots of different special offers. Yes. People love offers. And something which I did, which you can model, is actually I sent an email out saying, look, I just had this random idea. It's coming up to the end of the year. I'd give away some free coaching and then start the clock in January. So basically it's like get the rest of the year free. And then, it doesn't lower the amount someone spends with you, but they get a bit of extra time. As long as your business is leverage, you're not doing one-to-one, that's a great thing to do in a different hook. But if you do that all the time, people aren't going to like it. So that's why people like the variety, and why we're telling you about all of these promotions is varying all the time. There's a different time of year, and with every different time of year, you can run a different promotion. Right. And then what you want to do, this is critical, which a lot of people make this mistake. If something works, track it so that you can do it again next year. You could have an amazing promotion that brings in £3,000 or £4,000 or dollars or whatever your currency you're in, and then next year, what do I do? Have your file of stuff that worked and really start to track what you're doing so you can replicate it.
Exactly, and think about this, in terms of what you can send, and I have my coaching clients doing this for Thanksgiving, because hardly anyone sends a card at Thanksgiving. Okay, people love getting stuff in the mail. You've got to understand, though, that people filter what comes through. And so if you're sending flyers or postcards, which is very common in our industry, a lot of people send that out, and they do work, but not as effective as something like this. And the reason for that is everybody loves to get a gift. Everybody loves to get a card. Everybody loves to get things in the mail, okay? And so if you're sending a gift, you create what they call lumpy mail, right? And who isn't going to open a box or a stuffed envelope that's not flat? People curiosity, they're going to open that, and they open it and it's, oh wow, I've got this. And so, for Valentine's Day, you could send a little cuddly bear with a heart, telling them how much you love and appreciate them as a client.
I got that this year from you, thanks.
You see, so how much you love and appreciate them as a client, and then again, you can give them a gift card. You can give them the coupon 40% off if you're selling supplements, or if you have, some people have juice bars. If you've got a shake bar or something like that, you can give them stuff like that, coupons for that, and gifts and specials. And so it's a great reason to contact them, to get in front of them again, and to remind them that you do appreciate them as a client, and as a thank you, you wishing them the best, and as a thank you, here you go. And then, of course, if you have a prospect list, you can just spin it slightly and say, hey, thinking of you at this time of year, hoping you set your new goals for 2015 or 16, whenever you're listening to this. But those are the things that will separate you, because it shows that you actually do care and that you actually taken the time. And if you do send stuff, make sure that it's not mass produced. Make sure it's personalized. Have someone handwrite the envelopes. Have someone handwrite the messages inside. Don't be lazy and just use a computer to print all this stuff. Show the people that you actually care, and it's going to make the difference. If you've got thousands upon thousands of clients, like if you own a gym and you're membership based. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that, and there's handwritten fonts you can use and things to give it more of that personalized feel in mass. But if you're a small gym owner, studio owner, personal trainer, boot camp owner, and you've only got 100 to 200 members, there's a good chance that you can get your trainers to help you with this, and you can crank these out in a couple of hours, okay? And it's going to make a big difference.
For sure. Here's a little strategy that works very well. Go to a local massage therapist and go, so I'm a personal trainer in this area, and I have a lot of clients who would really love your services. Can I just ask you, on average, when you sign a client up, how often do they stay for you for? And they'll probably say, well, at least 6 massages, or they stay with me for, 6 months or a year. And then you say, awesome, what I'd love to do is give each of my new clients a free gift voucher, which means that, okay, you do your initial massage, your first one for free, but then you can upsell them into a continuous package. If they're confident about that someone coming to them and then continuing, they're going to snap your hand off for that. And so that's a strategy that I did, which works perfectly, which you can do straight away if you don't just listen to this, but you take action on it.
I love that. And I've heard of people doing that before, getting other people to give free and bundling it and creating, new member packages with that as well. But that's a great idea around these times of year, is to leverage those relationships. And you should be creating a network locally. And maybe we'll have another podcast where we talk about that, Simon, about creating, a joint venture network locally to leverage that. Because I think that is a powerful thing that we could probably talk about for an hour. So I'll make a note of that, and we'll add that to our list of podcasts to do.
Well, let's have a little intermission. Guys, if you're enjoying the podcast, look, we do this for your benefit, but that also means that we would love a 5-star review because we want to help more trainers. So we would love if you could just pause this episode right now, head over to iTunes, just tap something in, or add myself and AJ to Facebook for facebook.com/boylevel or facebook.com/AJ Roberts. Add us both. Just say hi. We've enjoyed the episode. I've actioned that strategy. It keeps us wanting to carry this on. So please don't listen to this and just ignore it, because we're just like you. We're human, and we would love the interaction. And it helps us carry on doing what we love. But we need your feedback.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's an episode of Children in Need, and I'm pledging.
Yeah. Well, at this time, we would like to ask you to head over to iTunes and give us.
I don't think I can do a Terry Wogan impression.
90% of our audience have no idea who he is. You're lucky I grew up in England.
Go to Google Images and type in Terry Wogan, and you can have this interactive experience with the Fitpreneurs. In fact, moving into 2015, I believe that we should make the episodes more interactive in this way. That's a start. Go to Google and type in Terry Wogan, and I don't need to carry on.
All right, so let's get back to the content, and let's really talk about maximizing the results of this, because sending something is cool, but you're not going to get everyone immediately take action on your offer. Okay, so we want to make sure that we use a multi-step campaign, right? And what basically a multi-step campaign is if you're going to send a card, you're going to want to send a follow-up letter, or you're going to send a follow-up email or a phone call or a text. And you want to leverage this so that, you put, obviously if you're using gift cards and coupons and things like that and specials, you're going to have deadlines on them, right? And so as you're coming up to the deadline, you want to send reminders, you want to send last chance, you want to send all these things that are going to make people take action, because believe it or not, a lot of people procrastinate, and I'm sure you've done it yourselves. And even though, let's say something is available, there's a sale for 4 days, a lot of people take advantage at the very beginning, and then, the 2 days in between, let's say if you're doing a 4-day promo, the 2 days in between, the interest seems to drop and there's low sales. But then the last day with the deadline, sales increase. And if you actually look at statistics, and I've had the privilege of doing this with, $1 million launches, but what happens is let's say midnight is the deadline, as the day goes on and you get to the afternoon, about 6 o'clock in the evening, sales start to skyrocket. And actually they're the highest in the last hour. It's like people wait until they almost can't get it. And I got it. I got okay. I got to get it. So leverage that. Use that to your advantage, knowing the human behavior. Okay, knowing that most people, you're going to get a rush at the beginning, then it's going to kind of be a dead spot, and then you're going to get a rush at the end. Use that to your advantage. Make sure you follow up. Make sure you send other stuff to them, so that they are reminded that, hey, with the deadlines coming up, please take advantage of this.
Absolutely. It's just a fantastic strategy. And often, so many times, people fail at the first hurdle. They're like, well, I've used this analogy before of stepping up the ladder. It's like they do something once and then it's like, oh, that didn't work. And they get afraid and they have a negative association to marketing and they start stressing out. You just got to be consistent and persistent. It's about being, if it doesn't work, try again. 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 And then you're going to hit on something and then you replicate. Okay. Mark, if you've gone into the industry, we understand that many of you listening have not had the discipline in business, sales, and marketing. And that's why we're here to kind of guide you and just educate you, not just on the individual strategies, but the mindset involved into adopting these. And so, like Adri's saying, sometimes you want to do more than one follow-up in order to get the breakthrough. Because it's about, people want a multitude of touches, and that, but maybe you're sending something out and you need to provide some value first rather than putting offer in front. So in fact, a lot of these strategies that we're talking about, if you precede them prior with some kind of content and value, then when the offer comes to hit, it's going to have more of an impact.
Right, and that's really what this is about. Look, these people, they want your help, they want your services, they're already clients, they're already invested, and so these are opportunities for you to leverage the holidays and really generate a surge of income and create some cash flow. And so you want to make sure that if you're going to the effort of sending the first piece to them, okay, whether it's an email or whether it's direct mail, however it is you're reaching out to them, if you're going to go to that effort, you might as well at least do what's called a 3-step campaign. So you have the secondary piece that goes out to them to make sure, hey, did you see the first piece? Let me know if you have questions, reach out, blah, 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 blah. And then the final notice. You might as well do that, because if you've gone to the effort in the first place, it's kind of silly not to. Okay, and you'll get better results with that. And the other thing is, sometimes things don't get through, and so when you send the follow up, maybe they did miss it. Maybe it did get tossed away with the junk mail because they weren't paying attention. Okay, and so this is why I mentioned following up in different ways. If you send something in the mail, maybe especially if they're a client or a prospect and you have their phone number, you can call them or text them and say, hey, just wanted to touch base and see if you got my letter or my card, and the coupons or the gift card, and follow up with them and find out what's going on. And maybe they'll have questions. Maybe they just haven't got around to it yet, and so you kind of jog their memory. But you want to make sure you're maximizing your results. Make sure you record everything you do. And this is funny. You bring this up because I've been talking to a lot of fit pros, and the number one thing that someone who owns a facility, a boot camp, studio, a box, gym, has said to me is that they need to get their systems in order. And the thing with systems is systems are really just checklists. And to get systems in order, all you have to do is document what you're doing. There's no magic formula for it. You literally just write down exactly what you do. And so when you run these campaigns, you want to make sure you document it. Like Simon has said, write down exactly what you do, all the way down to if you're sending mail, buying the stamps, like where to purchase the stamps in bulk from, because you can obviously use Amazon, Costco, large shopping places. You can go to the post office, but whatever you do, you want to put that in there. You want to put down every step so that you can create a checklist, and then next time you go to do it, you just go through the checklist, and that's all the system is. And so when you're doing these promotions, systemize the promotions so you can leverage and use those again in the future. Or if you're following the Fitpreneur journey, you're going to be transitioning from, what I call self-employed, which is you're a trainer working for yourself, to business owner, which is, you own your own facility and you have other trainers working to entrepreneur, which is you're no longer in the trenches, you're just running the business, and now you can venture into other things. If you're going along that journey, what I'm calling the Fitpreneur journey, if you're following that journey, at some point someone else is going to be implementing this for you. Okay, and so you don't want to have to, every time you want to run a promotion, have to get on the phone or go through an email with them telling them what to do. You want to be able to just send them the document and have a place for them to do that. And so, start to systemize everything you do, and this is just one thing. And like Simon says, if you pull the calendar out and you mark down the big holidays, you're going to find you have a promotion almost every month, at least every other month, okay, which you can come up with something. That's half your yearly marketing right there, just off of holiday promotions, Mix in your referral promotions, and then anything else you're doing. You got a pretty full calendar, okay? You're going to be successful, but you want to make sure you're documenting it. Even if you are self-employed, you don't have any other employees, okay, document the stuff. Now, if you're even a trainer who's working for someone else still, you haven't yet ventured out on your own, still document everything you do, because when you make that transition, you'll be one step ahead of most business owners. So just, a little side note on systems here, because Simon had mentioned it, and I think it's very valid, but start documenting this stuff and really putting it down so that, like he said, you can do this again and again, because if it works, it works. And the thing that people, I think, Simon, the thing that people do that's funny is they'll run something, and let's say it costs them $1,500 to run, or £1,500, whatever, and they make like $3,000. Like, they'll be like, oh, I didn't make a lot of money, so it wasn't successful, because they're looking for that 20,000, that 30,000 promotion that we're able to, we come up and craft with for our clients. And they forget that everything adds up over the time. And so, hey, I'll spend $1,500 to make $3,000 all day long. In fact, I'd spend $1,500 to make $1,501 all day long, because you're acquiring the customers, and I could build more income on the back end. But a lot of people do that. And then the other thing is if make sure you track and measure this stuff in terms of how many mail pieces you send out, how many people respond, how many people invest, and so you can see where maybe the weak link was. Let's say you had a bunch of mailers go out, you have a bunch of people respond, but very few people then convert. You have a conversion problem from people reaching out to people being closed. But if you send out a bunch of mailers and you only get a few response, you have a call to action problem. It wasn't there wasn't enough benefit there, or maybe you forgot. Sometimes people forget to put a phone number down or a website down or whatever the call to action is, to get people to come in or to call or to sign up for a call. And so then you say, oh man, looking at my mailer, that's what I missed. It wasn't obvious. How can people take action on this? And so by documenting that, the analytics of it, you'll see, okay, this is the area I need to work on. So the next time you come back to the checklist, you've got that note in what you need to improve upon. And so now it will be an even better campaign.
Absolutely. Guys, as always, we do not want any mental masturbation over this episode. I know that it's amazing information. We've shared a lot with you. But if you continue to do nothing with it, then you are going to get zero results. So please, please, please always take action. Let us know how you're getting on. We got some feedback on the iTunes. I've just actually checked on your document here, AJ. Look at this. Kettlebell Dave says, love the podcast. AJ and Simon always over-deliver. I think he's very right. This isn't just for Fit Pros. That's very true. I would advise anyone who's in a business owner or seeking self-improvement to listen. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Andy VSC says, this podcast is fun and very informative. Great practical advice. I really can't believe it's free. They just give you the info to you. Yes, that's very true. AJ, do you want to read the last one because it's really small?
Okay. Yeah, so it says the name's Hump Diggity. I don't know who that is, but it's a catchy name. Golden Nuggets, gentlemen. Golden Nuggets. Thanks for giving us that kick in the ass whether we need it. If you could see our whiteboards, you'd know that we have hundreds of ideas. Implementing them has been the biggest struggle thus far. This week, we're creating our marketing calendar and have already put 2 systems into play. We'll keep you posted on our success as it unfolds. Thanks for being awesome. Ryan Humphreys. Oh, cool. There you go, Humphreys. Ryan Humphreys. So thanks for that, Ryan. This is the kind of feedback we love. It lets us know we're on the right track. It lets us know that you guys are taking action.
Ryan's actually a client. I think I told him to write that.
Oh, bribery. I see how it is.
No, I didn't ask him to at all, but he is a fan.
So this is really cool. And, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know. What do you think? How are you taking action? That's what we really want to hear about. We don't want to, we know we're good. We know our stuff. That's why we're doing this podcast. So although it's nice of you guys to say all this great stuff about us, really it's not about us. It's about you. And so we want to hear what you're doing. So if you've taken action and specifically from an episode and implemented it and gotten results, we would love to hear specifically what you've done, how much income it generated, or how many clients you got from it, because that's what it's really all about, is changing as many lives as possible. So let us know. We'd love to hear you. Head over to iTunes, leave us your review, or if you're not on iTunes, if you for some reason have a Samsung and not an Apple, head over to the website and drop us a comment at the end of the episode. Okay, we got space there for your reviews, or if you want, you can go to our Facebook page, the Fitpreneurs, and you can leave us a comment there. And, me and Simon will see that, and we'll give you a shout out on one of the upcoming episodes.
Holiday.
Celebrate.
So, this weekly challenge is pick a holiday and plan your next promotion.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. People overcomplicate everything. Literally, just pick a holiday.
Make some money, please.
Yeah, please make some money.
And then just send a portion of it to us.
Yeah, we'll happily take the extra money you generate. You do the work, and then you send us the money, and we'll keep churning out the podcast.
Yeah, that sounds like a fair deal to me. So, quote and book recommendation. So, this is from Cecil Beaton, who I have no idea who AJ got this from. It says, I'm just reading what AJ put on the show notes. If we actually have a professional show notes, would you believe that? It's just what you're listening to is actually structured in some formula.
Scripted, word for word. We're so good that it's scripted word for word. Would you believe that?
It's crazy. So be darling, be different, be impractical, be anything that will assert integrity of purpose and imaginative vision against a play it safers, the creatures of the commonplace, the slaves of the ordinary.
Yeah, so be daring, guys. Think outside the box. I saw this quote. I was looking for something along the lines of thinking outside the box, because I mentioned earlier about being different and separating yourself from everybody else. And, holidays are something that most people aren't leveraging in their marketing because they have to think ahead. Most people are, quick door operators. Everything's last minute. And when it's done like that, although you can take massive action and hustle daily and do things last minute, there's nothing like getting ahead of the game, planning, and you're still going to hustle daily, but now you know why, what you're doing and what you're shooting for, and so it becomes effortless, and you're going to separate yourself, and you're going to break from the crowd. Okay, you're going to separate yourselves from the ordinary, like this quote says.
For sure. The book of the episode is, I know Bill Glazer very well, not personally, but you probably know him better than me, but he has a great book, which is Outrageous Advertising That's Outrageously Successful. What a great book title.
Yeah, and the book is fantastic. It goes a lot of stuff that me and Simon have talked about today. Bill did very well with. Bill actually, before he got into teaching marketing, was a very successful menswear store owner. Model, yes. I'm not sure Bill. I don't think Bill's camera friendly for the menswear model, but he definitely was an amazing marketer. He then started teaching other people how to do marketing along with Dan Kennedy, and has since then sold his portion of Glazer Kennedy. His daughter Mara is now an amazing Facebook advertising expert, local. She's really good with the online social media stuff, but Facebook's really her wheelhouse. But this book, guys, if you are not creative, you struggle with ideas, this book is going to be your blueprint to being outrageous, to standing out, and it's really going to be powerful for you because, like me and Simon said, and we love, it's all about fun and having fun with what you're doing. And if you can do that, you guys are going to enjoy the business more. Your clients are going to enjoy the business more, and prospects are going to be magnetically attracted to you because they're going to see what's going on and they're going to want to be a part of that. And that's what it's about, is creating something that people want to be a part of. And as a fitness professional, you want people to come into your community. You want them to belong to the tribe, and this will help you do that.
For sure. Guys, as we wrap up this episode, please do not continue to put a condom over your fitness business. Please explode action all over the place and serve to your maximum level.
Your analogies sometimes get me.
And on that note...
That's got to be the opener for this one.
Guys, if you're editing this, just put that at the front. Put it after Arnie and that'll be fine.
Cool. So wrapping things up, we've mentioned several times, please head over to iTunes, leave us a review. That actually helps us with ratings and gets us in front of more people. And so, like we said, although we want to hear from you, we want to hear what action you're taking, but, it does help us get in front of more people because it bumps us up the rankings a little bit. Share this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're at. Please, let the community know about the thing. Don't be scared to share this stuff. Have that abundance mindset and help us reach more and more people every week.
Holiday.
Celebrate.
Celebrate. See you next time.
Guys, thanks for the killer episode. Listen, if you want to take your fitness business to the next level, terminate your competition, create ultimate freedom, buy new houses, cars, which could blow up, travel the world, or open your own gym where you can lift really heavy weights, then head to www.thefitpreneurs.com/free call for details on how to apply for your free accelerator call. Until the next episode, hasta la vista, Fit Pros.